Testing 1, 2, 3, here I go. Give me that microphone. Give me that microphone. 9, 8, 7, 6. Is this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1?
In the sun, it's just a ride. The world is mine, it's my stage. I'm owning this, I came to play. Just shout out, scream it out, and testify.
What's up, youth? Welcome to Youth at Night 2021. We're so excited about what God has in store for us. We really believe that God is doing a new thing in my life.
He's doing a new thing in Jesus Christ. You know he's doing it. Yeah, God is doing it.
God is doing a new thing in our lives, Lord. We're doing a new thing through Jesus Christ. God doing a new thing through our music.
You know what we're saying? So, check it out. We got some new stuff coming up. Nick, why don't you tell them about our teaching series?
Yeah, so today we're kicking off a brand new teaching series that we're going to do all the month of January. You're not going to want to miss it. It is called Resilient, Building a Faith of Resilience. So please show up every single week this month so that you don't miss any of the pieces of this new teaching series. Hannah, go ahead and explain some of the games that we're going to be playing today.
Yeah, we're going to do a rewind tonight, so we're going to look back on some moments from 2020 and then play some really fun rewind games.
Let's go. Youth at Night.
Let's
do
do
this.
this.
We need you to get stoked.
Yes, rule number 1, get excited. We compiled a 3-step process in order for this to go down. What are those 3 steps, Luke?
1, put your fists in the air. 2, pump your fists. 3, drop a beat.
Are you doing this?
You feeling it? All right. If you are stoked, then you are in the right mindset.
Scripture talks about how we are called to fish for people. Let's do it.
Each word as they glide from cheek to cheek. Close our eyes.
My name's Emery, I'm 13, and I've been going to Cedar Mill since about 4th grade.
But one thing that I hate most in this world, something I think is despicable, it's against all things good, is a fart. Like,
Next day, running the turkey across the road. Because it was his day off.
What's up? My name's Theo Laufenberg, and this is part of my story.
And you really want to stick your landings because the floor is lava!
Just so happens that we sprayed some fart spray on these ones.
Which of these is not a Disney character? I'll be personally offended if you get this
no,
wrong.
I'm horrible at Disney. No.
This should be easy.
Okay.
A, Mickey Mouse. B, Donald Duck. C, Bugs Bunny. And D, Pluto the dog.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, you ready? Yeah. 3, 1.
Oh, that was slow.
Betty
Penny.
bought
Pine.
some.
Penny is the first word I have.
Alright, so I'm Luke. I'm running around here. Am I doing anything or am I just waiting? Can I move? Oh, I can move. One person though, right? Ah! No! Bender boy!
Hello, this is a collect call from Washington County Jail. For inmate Nicholas Mastrud, say yes if you would like to accept.
Yeah.
Hello?
Oh, yes!
Let's go! Oh my gosh!
And people are playing practical jokes.
I was about to say, look at that. Literally.
And I will trust the God who's ever faithful always.
Okay, first delivery.
What's up, 7th grade girls scrunchy squad?
Hey girls, I miss you. Kevin misses you. Hope you guys are all doing well. I miss your beautiful faces and I hope I get to see you soon.
Hey guys, love you and miss you so much.
Miss you girls, miss you, miss you, miss you.
Good morning, lovely ladies. I can't wait to see your face in real time.
Hey Cedar Mill Youth family, I miss you guys so much.
Hey everyone, you've done so well during this hard time. I want to encourage you to just keep it up.
Hi everyone, I really miss you.
Hi 8th grade girls. I'm videoing now.
Okay, here it goes. Come on. No! No!
Perfect size.
Ah! I can't do it!
You got it, bro.
Let's go! Oh. No. Come on. Get something bad, man. Cage action going on.
No!
2, 1.
Stop! Stop! Stop!
Get exposed. Yeah, leave behind the darkness. Get exposed. Yeah, step into the light and get exposed. Yeah, illuminate the darkness till it goes. Oi, I want too much light, I'm overdosed.
Oh, that's really strong. Is it a dog treat?
Kinda.
You are closer, closer than my skin.
I call that good. I call that good.
10 minutes. Good work, dude.
Champion. Right here.
Kind of small for a Bigfoot.
Yeah. All right, you guys, this first rewind game is called Words in Rewind. And the way it's going to go is we're going to be saying words, but in rewind, and then we're going to play them in rewind so that we'll be able to hear them normal.
Forward, hopefully.
Does that make sense? So feel free to judge us if you want. Decide, like, is that good? Thumbs up, thumbs down, sounds nothing like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Or, yeah.
Give us an example.
An example? So, like, Hannah brought her name up. Is that called a palindrome?
Mm-hmm.
It's a palindrome. Hannah is spelled Hannah, frontwards
Hannah.
and backwards the same way.
Anna.
So if I were to record it on this app,
Dude, Anna.
it would be Anna.
Yeah, do that.
Anna. All right. Now we're going to play it.
Honey.
Hanai. It's close.
You can all start calling me that now.
Hanai. It was close. It was close.
Nick, I'll just have you start us off.
Okay.
I'll give you a word here.
Sounds good.
Your word is resilience. Tell me when you're ready.
Resilience. Okay.
Oh, whoops. Here we go.
Sealer. I can't do that.
That was pretty close. I think that was going to be legit.
That's a hard one.
Seal. Oh, it
There
wasn't
you go.
recording yet.
Now it is.
Sealer.
Let me redo that. Sorry. 1, 2, 3.
Sealer. That is so hard. Let's see what it sounds like.
Snarlies.
Dude, that is so hard.
I say no point for that.
Yeah, definitely not.
I'll give you another word.
Okay, one more.
All right, your other word is free.
Ear. Come on.
Free.
Yeah, that was
nice.
good. That was good.
That was pretty
Resilience.
All right. Here we go, Hannah. We have
Okay.
alive
Okay.
is your first word.
Alive.
Alive.
Villa.
That sounded convincing.
Make it to me.
Olive.
Close.
That's actually not too bad.
That is close. That was close.
All right, your next word, that was pretty good, I think. I would give a half point for that.
Thank you.
Your next word is grow.
Org.
Girl.
It's like I'm like choking on something.
All right. I chose my own words.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear it.
I am going to do lollygag.
Oh.
Lollygag. Okay.
Okay. Goggy lol. You think that was close?
Yeah, I think that sounded pretty good.
Lollygog.
Dude, that
pretty
was
dang
good.
Lollygog.
That was great.
Okay.
Nicely done.
Next one is Bible.
Ooh.
I didn't practice lollygag. I want to make the record straight.
Oh,
was-
no.
that was
No, I
insane.
believe you. We've been
Okay,
with you.
Bible. Okay. Ilib. Dang it.
I don't think so. I think it's...
Well,
Let me try that.
Dude,
Bible. Ilib.
No.
Bible. Ilibib.
Dude, listen, it's only 2 syllables.
Ilibib.
Bible.
Bible. Old Bible.
Try-
Or
try it.
vibe. Yeah, try it.
Old Bible.
That's probably pretty good.
Bubble.
Bubble.
Bible.
If I had peanut butter on the roof of my mouth, that's what I'd say.
This is Action Rewind. Let's go. We're going to do an Action Rewind. So it's going to be just like the word game, but in actions. So like, for instance, slap in the face, but then it rewinds and plays back through. We're going to try to make it look as realistic as possible in rewind. So yeah, check it out. Let's give it a try.
What's up, Cedar Mill Youth, and Happy New Year. We're so excited to kick this new year off with a brand new teaching series that we have been so hyped on. And I want to start by just telling a little bit of my story of when I first kind of came to Christ, and I was in those beginning years, particularly in high school. And this was a season in my life when I had a really, really hard time bouncing back from difficult circumstances in life. Since I was new in the faith, I just kind of had this idea that Christians were just happy, and once you start following Jesus, things just kind of fall into place, right? So I thought if I was struggling, if things were difficult for me, then something must be wrong with me or wrong with the way that I was doing things. And man, was I in for a surprise. It was in high school that I had issue after issue, whether that be within my family or some dating relationship decisions that I had made, or poor friendship decisions that led to a lifestyle that was destructive and not fruitful for my life. It was in the midst of those situations that I had a very, very hard time bouncing back or shifting my perspective to one that is of God. I just couldn't get back on track, if that makes sense. Circumstances that were heavy in my life would rock my world, and they would rock my faith, and I didn't know which way was up, and I was feeling bad. My world and my faith was shaken by almost anything that came my way. And it seemed like I just had ups and downs, and what I would do to cope with that is I would make my life super busy, and I would search for any new and exciting experience, anything possible to just avoid facing the guilt and the shame and the frustration I had that life was still difficult even though I was following Jesus. Let me just say, the thing that I had not yet developed in life was resilience. Resilience. That is what this entire teaching series is going to be about. If you don't know what the word is, that's okay, because we're going to be wrestling with it for a few weeks. But we're going to be talking about what it would look like to grow in our ability to be resilient in this life. Let me start by giving you the definition of resilience. It is this. Number one, capable of withstanding shock without permanent deformation or rupture. Number two, it could be defined this way: tending to recover from or adjust easily to misfortune or change. And then just to simplify it, I really like this definition: bouncing back from disruption. Bouncing back from disruption. If we are not resilient, we find ourselves responding typically in one of two ways, and these might be more severe than others. But there's kind of this way, instead of being resilient, we can be non-resilient. And that looks like this: overconsumption, or drowning out everything going on. In 2020, maybe you have found yourself like, how can I stimulate myself even more? Like watch more shows, play more video games, cause more noise in my life so that I don't have to deal with the difficulty. Or maybe it's the opposite of that. You check into like laziness. You check out of life, you mope around, you kind of bum out on everything that's going on, and you just feel really bad for yourself. Like the feelings are really, really deep and harsh to sit in. Resilience is the quality of being able to adapt to stressful life changes and the ability to bounce back from those hardships. Resilience is a response to tragedy or crisis or other life-altering changes that allow us to move forward despite the loss that we've experienced. Showing resilience, it doesn't mean that we are unaffected or uncaring about the things happening in our life. I don't want you to get that, like, oh man, I'm not resilient because those things affected me. No. I think resilient people are affected by things, but resilience is the human heart's ability to go through difficulty, to suffer greatly, but to move forward and to grow from it. That is the vision that we have for youth students in 2021. Wouldn't it be nice to go through life with such confidence, with such peace, that no matter what came our way, no matter what was next, no matter what difficulty was thrown at us, that because Jesus Christ is in us, that we would be able to bounce back, and not just bounce back, but bounce back well and maybe even better than before. I love how Mark Sayers puts it. Listen to what he says. I want to read this quote. The first Christians were called the followers of the way. And listen to the kind of faith that Mark Sayers explained that they had. An overriding commitment to church and Christian community, seeking to follow Jesus with the entirety of one's heart, soul, and mind in the face of endless choices and options. Man, isn't that us? Endless choices and options, but dead set on exactly where they were going and who they were. The commitment to surrender's one will to God, sacrificially following him as a servant. The decision to live fully with the Holy Spirit's guidance in a world of anxiety, fragility, and emotionalism that is run wild. Such Christian resilience is growing stranger by the day. Yet as it becomes rarer, it becomes more valuable. Its strangeness will shine, pointing the way to a different future. I see in this group of high school students, a group of resilient youth that shine bright. And it may look strange to the world because while everybody is freaking out, while everybody is running rampant, we are dead set on the one thing, Jesus himself. I believe that you are going to be the ones that shine brightly in this world. Not because you avoid hardships, but because of your faith, because it's built and it's sustained on the one thing, the one person, the only thing that cannot be taken away from us. I have this graph that I kind of want to explain to you. I'll go ahead and throw it on the screen, but it has on the y-axis, we have morale, or the way that you're feeling in life. And then on the x-axis on the bottom here, we have time. And I want to kind of explain it this way. We kind of go through this dip in life. If you view this dip as a circumstance that has hit, that has kind of rocked our world, we kind of go through the stages of grief, right? There's denial. We're like, oh, this isn't happening, this isn't happening, this isn't happening. And then you kind of accept that. You're like, okay, it is happening. And then you're angry about it. You're like, this is stupid. What? No. And then you can even go into a phase of bargaining where you're like, God, if you just take this circumstance away from me, like I'll do this, I'll do that, whatever it is, And then there's the kind of the bottom is this despair period in life where you're just completely bummed out. Your world is rocked. You're moping around or you're running around trying to avoid the pain that is life. And then you kind of take a turn. And sometimes this can take a short amount of time, but typically it takes a long time when circumstances are difficult. And we start to accept things, and we start to go to God, and we start to say, okay, this is how things are going to be. And Lord willing, we get to this place where we're actually thriving, where we actually bounce back even better than we were before this circumstance hit. And let me just say, resilience is the ability to hit circumstance face to face rather than to get to this place where we're just completely crippled and stunned and shook. And if you would do this, you would actually be able to get through these circumstances and not just come out okay, but come out better than the way that you went in to begin with. If there was ever a time to be resilient in life, I believe that it is now. I believe that a lot of the foundations that we have built for our lives in this season have been exposed, right? Because there's been a wrench thrown into the system, and I believe if we are not resilient, or if we are resilient, those ways of life have been revealed to us in this season of life. We have so many circumstances that are kind of rocking our world right now. And what are some of those for you? What are some of the ways where you're like, man, I just haven't been resilient? Like I'm having a really, really hard time bouncing back from this thing that's happened. Maybe that thing is, man, my friend group right now is super divided. Like, some of my friends believe this, some of my friends believe this, and I'm just having a hard time. I'm angry, I'm bargaining, I'm in despair, I'm having a hard time accepting it, and it's just rocking my world. Or maybe that thing is just not being in person at school. It's been the worst. I'm having a hard time bouncing back from it. Or maybe it's like with church. I've been able to come at youth, but I need the whole Sunday gathering, being around people. That was like my lifeblood. I'm having a hard time bouncing back from it. Or maybe you're saying, these new family dynamics, because I've been at home, I'm having a hard time bouncing back because of the new stresses within my family that have arisen because of the shutdown, because of closer proximity with my family. Or maybe you have a new sin struggle because of the circumstances going on. You're like, man, I'm just dealing with a lot of guilt and a lot of shame that has crippled me, and in a lot of ways, I just am having a hard time bouncing back. What is it for you that you're having a hard time bouncing back from in this season? let me just remind you, we're all called to do the hard work of standing firm, to take on these difficulties with Jesus by our side and to grow from them, to grow through them. I want you to imagine for a second, imagine a life where no matter what was thrown at you, no matter what circumstance, the thing that freaks you out the most, it's a reality in your life. What would it look like to embrace that, to step into that with confidence and know you're going to come out the other side thriving? Wouldn't that be amazing? How peaceful of a life would you live to go, man, I think that I'll be okay. I think I have everything I need, even if everything is taken away. The one thing that can't be taken away is Jesus, and I have that. What kind of a peaceful confidence would you walk around day-to-day life with? Resilience, let me just remind you, it's not a new thing for Christians. In fact, there's a history of resilient followers of Jesus, both in Scripture and those like our forefathers or those before us who have followed Jesus for a long time. It's safe to say that resilience is actually a biblical norm for Christians. It's kind of a theme that you find throughout Scripture. The Bible is full of encouragements like this, to press on, like in to press on in Philippians, or overcome hardships and temptations, like in Romans, or to persevere in the face of trials, like we see in James. It also gives us numerous examples of people who have suffered greatly, but have continued to follow God's plan for their lives, who've pressed on and come out better on the other side. I love this proverb right here. If this could be like the theme song or like the mantra of this teaching series, I think it would be this proverb. Proverbs 24, verse 16, this is the Message version. This is what it says. No matter how many times you trip them up, God-loyal people don't stay down long. Soon, they're up on their feet, while the wicked end up flat on their faces. Isn't that the most victorious verse of all time? That is gnarly. I have that vision for you students, youth students of 2021. No matter how much they trip up, the God-loyal people, they don't stay down for long. They're jumping back up. They're resilient. They have a faith that sees past those circumstances. They have a vision that at the end of this circumstance, they are going to be thriving in their life and in their faith. They're going to be confident walking through this life. The Apostle Paul, maybe some of you know him, he showed great resilience after this life-encountering moment with Jesus. In Acts 9, we see that. When he was transformed, he went from like this religious Pharisee, like he would persecute, hurt Christians, to like a radical Christian. And tons of people were not happy with this message. They were like, dude, choose what you're gonna like be about and stick with that. So because people were just ticked at him, and because he was talking about like this super controversial gospel, people beat him. They like threw stones at him. They criticized him. He was in jail multiple times. They was nearly killed tons of times. One incident especially shows Paul's exceptional resilience. In Lystra, in Asia Minor, he was stoned, and not the stone that you might be thinking of. He was actually getting stones thrown at him. He was dragged out of town and left for dead. But when his enemies left, Paul simply got up and he went back into the city. You can read this in Acts chapter 14, verses 19 and 20. And so his missionary endeavors continued unchanged. So this circumstance came. Listen to the resilience, the literal bounce back. He literally had to bounce off the ground. Like they beat him and he popped right back up. He went through this phase of like, man, I'm going back into this place and I'm going to be thriving and I'm going to be stronger than ever before. The circumstances didn't affect his original goal. Isn't that crazy? What if the circumstances in our life don't affect the original goal of pursuing God with our entire lives? Godly resilience, it enables us to be unmoved from our mission, regardless of the opposition. Let me say that again. Godly resilience enables us to be unmoved from our mission, regardless of the opposition. What is the opposition you're facing? What would it be like to have an unmoved faith, an unmoved mission? As followers of Jesus, we have an anchor. We have this hope in this promise that we are upheld by God himself. And what God upholds can never be torn down. Let me say that. What God upholds can never be torn down. That's what gives us resilience. That's what it means to be resilient. Listen to this in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8 and 9. You might be familiar with this, but man, breathe this in, receive this as truth. Let this bolster your faith. We are hard pressed on every side. Do you feel this in 2020, now entering 2021? We are hard pressed on every side, but we're not crushed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. We're persecuted, but not abandoned. We're struck down, but not destroyed. Christians keep bouncing back. That's what we do. We bounce back. The key to resilience is faith in the Lord himself. Listen to this psalm in Psalm 37, 23, and 24. It says this: "The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him." The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delight in him. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with his hand. I love how honest this psalm is. The writer of this psalm isn't saying, delight in the Lord and nothing bad will happen in your life. And I'd love to say that in your 2021, like nothing bad's going to happen if you just fall. No, he's saying through life, you will stumble. But even though stumbling is a reality this side of heaven, you will not fall. In fact, the Lord will uphold you with his very hands. He is the one that is going to sustain you. Because you have faith in the one that will not fall, he will give you this resilience. So friends, let's do the hard work of growing and building a resilient faith. A resilient faith, it doesn't take these difficult things away. I don't want you to get that, but it gives us the ability to bounce back. It gives us a promise that though we stumble, we will not fall. That though things are hard, they aren't the end. Though the struggle is real, the defeat does not have to be. With that introduction, I just kind of want to say we are going to be talking about this for the next several weeks, and you don't want to miss it. I really, really want all of you here. Bring your friends. This is not a series that you want to miss. We're going to start by doing the long, hard work of focusing on the patterns of life that build a resilient faith. We're going to talk about the implications of living for an audience of one. Living for an audience of one, not an audience of friends and everybody that has an opinion of us, but the one opinion that matters most of us. And then we're going to look at what it looks like to have a resilient faith in the context of community, how it flourishes in this environment of community, of friends and family that love us and support us because we're better together. So with that, we're going to jump into small groups and talk about resilience, talk about our faith, talk about where we're at in this new year. And I can't wait for the fruit and the things that are going to happen in those small groups. I love you guys. Can't wait to see you and have a great discussion.